Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So, we've seen the headline, we've seen all the videos and things like that. We know what's on the horizon for next week. We've got the Mars system coming up, and I wanted to talk about everything that we currently know about the Mars system and like my few prelim thoughts now that we have basically all the information we're probably going to get before it releases. But if you're new here, my name is Chrono. I primarily cover PSO2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribe as we work our way towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of this year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So Mars is, do we even know what it stands for? I'm not sure if I remember. What, you know what? I think in the first video they showed off Mars, they told us what it stood for. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. One sec. Okay, so it's in the first promo video. So let's, oh, Brianna Larson, interesting. Let's play it. It's been a minute since we watched it. Theater mode better? Theater mode's a little bit better.
Checking condition. All systems green.
So
Commence
the,
battle.
hold on,
All systems
I missed
green.
it. The multi-road ARCS reactive system.
Commence battle.
Mars. This is the first time, the first promo video we saw of it. I haven't actually watched this since it originally showed off. I'm actually really excited for this system. Also, their promo videos are really good these days. I don't know who they got to do promo videos now, but like definitely in the right direction. I know some people think it's kind of like cringe that they're going this hard with these sort of videos, but like, if they can't be excited for the stuff, like how are we supposed to be, you know? Apologies, your boy's drinking his iced coffee as he does this video.
Overboost. Limiter removed.
That's so cool.
Eradication confirmed. Awaiting instruction.
Okay. So there was something I saw in this that I kind of want to go back to. Let's see if I can see it again. It was in the swing, and I just assumed it was like a, hang on. Oh. Yeah, so it's not here, right? Interesting. I assumed it was a Slayer thing at the time. Yeah, see that, the photon, right? You see the photons, how they're black here? Very interesting. Anyway, and we're going to talk about that more because we saw some more of that stuff later. But yeah, so this is the Mars system, first introduction of it. And it stands for, let's go back to it, multi-road ARCS reactive system. So for those who've done the story, you'll know that this is the weapon that they, or I mean, it's very heavily hinted at. We're pretty sure this is the case. I doubt it's anything else, but this is the weapon that Ilma and what's her name? Well, I can't remember her name now. The person, or the the one chick from Reactive Arcs who has been basically working with us this entire time. I'm gonna feel really bad for not remembering her name, so I'm gonna go look it up one sec. Yo, Sega, you don't think maybe it's time to unveil these characters on the website? It's Faria, by the way. Faria is her name. It's also apparently the voice we were listening to in that video, but it's Faria. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you like, you know, show off these characters, give the rest of their information, all that good stuff. Some of y'all, we gotta talk about some of these characters y'all be chasing. But anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. So multi-road ARCS reactive system that Faria and Ilma were working on, that after Zeffetto left, I guess, essentially from Faria's voice or Faria's mind, left the information as to how to finish this little system. So we'll likely get an introduction to it in some form of like mini story. Probably not a whole lot, but just something that teaches us about this system and that kind of introduces it into the world, because it's likely going to be used in future story set pieces. It's going to be kind of the equivalent of our version of AIS. And by the way, I'm kind of one guying you guys right now, YouTube and my Twitch chat. But some people have had the thought, maybe I've seen it like once or twice. People have the thought that, oh, this is just AIS like nerfed. I don't think you motherfuckers played AIS. Like, I don't think you guys use the AIS system. This is like, from what I've seen, right? This is alleged because we haven't played it, right? We don't know. But just from what I've seen, this is like a mix of of Dark Blast with AIS, an actual what looks like actual customization and choice. We'll see when it releases. Maybe there's only one like viable combination that you go for. Maybe the skill tree unlocks everything. We don't know. Also, there's a skill tree, so that's pretty interesting. That's already a step up from the Dark Blast, as well as it scales off your character. Again, very interesting, as that's something that previous iterations did not do, and we outscaled the hell out of our Dark Blast. But that being said, as someone who has played a lot of AIS, because your boy actually farmed out the rewards from the Evangelion collab, which required you to do one of the urgent quests a lot. This does not look like nerfed AIS, not even close. AIS was fun. I liked AIS. AIS Vega being the best version of AIS, specifically in only one quest, and that had to do with like a single boss fight that was very aggressive and you had to block and parry a lot of. It was a lot of fun. That fight basically made AIS for me, but before then it was mostly like just kind of a little extra set piece. I'm looking forward to the fact that one, this is usable in the entire game, and I'll talk about how that works in a second, and two, the future of set pieces for something like this, because I guarantee you they're going to be used. So as far as what we know so far, when it comes to the multi-road arcs reactive system, or MARS, we're getting it next week. And this is the information update that shows off Mars at the beginning, and it shows off a few things that are pretty interesting. So we're going to watch that portion of it, and I'm going to like kind of slow down to show you guys what I saw. We're just going to full screen it. So I'm kind of in the way. I'm sorry. You'll have to deal with it. If you want the video links, I'll leave them in the video description. You guys can check them out there. Mars. The Garm. The Nidhogg. The Hydra. And the Cilia, I guess. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. We have 3 loadouts and a full skill tree from what we can see. Image here, try different armaments. And then they have a training center coming out for Mars. This is something that should realistically be permanent. I don't know why this is limited time. Maybe it's a trial thing. But this is something that should be a permanent feature, not only for Mars, but just in general. Like I'm happy they gave us the dummies outside of the towns, like you had to test on, but they're kind of not great. This is substantially better. And that's it. So that's the portion of this that has to do with that. So let's go back and look at what we know. So I'm gonna mute it while we're going through it again. And do a couple of pauses as we go through it. So we now know the date's the 31st, so that's next week. So first off the rip, if you look very closely, you can see Mars seems to follow the same rule that the hoverboards do, at least, and they seem to take the colors that you use for your outfits. You can see it's very red, matches her outfit here. His is white and orange, which matches his outfit. Now they're also showing off how it looks, like it changes its look. I'm not sure if that's based off of the subsystems or the main weapon. But from what we know is you choose 2 main weapons and I think 3 sub-armaments. Which it could have, now looking at this, what I feel like it meant actually was you choose 2 main weapons and a sub-armament. I'm not sure if it meant 2 main weapons or 3 sub-armaments. That seems like a lot, but we don't know what the sub-armaments actually are. They've only really told us about the main weapons. Nidhogg. So this is interesting looking. It looks almost like a scythe that has like a ranged attack and a chainsaw on it. Like that looks really, really cool. So we have Hydra, just seems to be a gun. Laser beam, charge shot, really big laser beam. And then we have what looks like almost like a bow that turns into like a hoverboard. Has also a big beam. Now, just looking at these, what you can tell is that the main hand weapon seems to be the module on the left side. Because you can see them change, right? Like there, that changed there, it's changed there. But the back module seems to have stayed or changed there too. So yeah, here it might be two, as in like the main hand module and the sub at the left, or the left and right hand modules. It looks like kind of like a cannon or missiles or something of that sort. Maybe that's the sub weapon. It would make more sense for it to be one main weapon and two sub weapons. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's possible. Let me know in the comments. Because that just seems to track more for me. And then we have what they're calling like a skill tree, I guess, of sorts. Because I don't really see anything kind of going into anything else. We can see a couple attacks. Garm Heat Charge, Garm Quick Assault, Garm Killing Prize, Garm Risky Style, interesting, and Garm Beat Up. And then Nidhogg, Weaken Marker, Add Attack, Delay Action, Extend Time, and Weakness. Have Hydra's Overcharge, Evade, Counter, Tactical Reload, Forced Assault, and Extended Time. And we can see a little bit about what some of these skills do if we go through this slowly. So let's try to go back a little bit. Hang on. Let's hit that timer. Oh, the playback speed, I mean. There we go. Wait for them to hit this. We can see a few things. All right, so this first one we see Garm Heat Charge. My head's a little bit in the way, but I'll go ahead and let you guys know what it says. Garm Heat Charge per potency is 2.5. HP recovery rate 1%. Store up to 2 energy charges by hitting enemies with attacks a certain number of times. Boost potency and HP recovery by normal attacks depending on the number of charges. When you use Garm Detonation, all of your energy charges are consumed by the attack and is boosted depending upon the number. So that might be what we saw whenever they were swinging their sword and a bunch of like attacks popped out. So that's probably what that was. It can only be used with Garm. Hang on. Okay. So I'm really bad at this apparently. Okay, so we have Nidhogg Weaken Weapon or Weaken Marker. Has 2 stages from what you can tell. Mark enemies by hitting them with a certain number of times with attacks. Enemies can be marked up to 2 times, reducing the number of damage, reducing the amount of damage you can take from them depending upon the number. Enemies can be marked up to 2 times, reducing the amount of damage you can take from them depending upon the number. Oh, it's defensive. Hitting a marked enemy with Nidhogg Execution will cause an explosion, causing additional attacks of potency contingent upon the number of marks. This seems really cool. I feel like it's going to be a popular one overall. And then Hydra Overcharge is not PP Natural, so it's time sustain, and then PP Natural Recovery. Build up a gauge when you hit enemies a certain number of times. Once the gauge is full, a certain number of normal attacks will become powerful attacks. And for as long as the effect is active, the amount of PP that each weapon recovers naturally will be increased. Okay. I mean, that's a bit weird, but all right. Going to be used with Hydra. Cool. And then we have Starlink. I'm not trying to pronounce it. Yeah, it seems like that's just like a bow or whatever, but yep. When enemy remains within a certain range, or if you hit them with attacks, up to 3-star insignia will appear. Using a weapon action attack in that state will consume the stars and make your explosive rounds more powerful depending upon the number. Lose 1 star when enemies are out of range for a while, or you're hit by an attack, or you sidestep. Interesting. So if you get hit or sidestep it, that might be terrible. I don't know. We'll have to see. It seems really annoying. And Fenrir support action. Oh, these might be the support modules. It shows 3 different. Interesting. So like you can see very obviously that there's different trees for each weapon, but then like for the Fenrir support action. Oh no, there's more below it. Okay. Automatically produce periodic support attacks. These support attacks become more powerful after Mars has been equipped for a while. In addition, your movement speed is increased. Here we go. Fafnir. Automatically produce periodic support attacks. These support attacks become more powerful. Hold on. Did I read the other one? Oh no, it's the same effect, but for Fafnir instead. In addition, the damage you take is reduced once your HP is under a certain level. Okay, so Fenrir's speed, Fafnir's DR, Linworm. In addition, your PP recovery rate while attacking is increased. Okay, so Linworm increases PP recovery rate. There's quick evade, jumping back left or right, held down while locked on, changes jump to a maneuver that dodges attacks while moving rapidly. Interesting. Critical hit potency up. Oh yeah, like I said, I told people it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We get crit rate. That's a lot of crit rate. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of points. Hold on. Ooh, that is a lot of points. Okay, that's very interesting. All right, we'll go ahead and move this back up. I think these are going to be pretty impactful. Laser beam. So this looks really okay. Here it is again. You see this portion of this is very, very red. It's like a scythe almost. I feel like that's going to be a very popular one. Nidhogg looks really cool. So I was looking at the attacks that they were using and I saw like different color photons. So I thought that was pretty dope. So as far as what we know, we know about this, let me see here. I'll pull up the actual slide itself. So yeah, we can fight using armaments with powerful actions for a set time, unlock Mars by completing a designated main task. So yeah, it's going to be part of like basically a mini story. There are main armaments and supporting sub armaments. Pick your favorites from an assortment of armaments. You're gonna pick crit damage. Everyone's gonna pick crit damage. Change Mars updaters. Exchange Mars updaters obtained from quests and task rewards for Mars skill points to learn exclusive skills to unlock actions and enhance your stats. So it looks like there are going to be specific drops that are going to give us more skill points. So be farming those out as much as possible. I'm not sure if it's something we'll be able to get everything of, but it depends. Or I'm sure it's something that we'll be able to get quite a bit of. And adding limited time tasks and titles that can be accomplished by using Mars. So of course there'll be tasks for Mars specifically. As far as its use and how it activates and things of that sort, the few things we know outside of what you and I have just seen have been talked about. So for one, Mars is going to be like something that's on your hotbar. It's going to be a button for you to press. It has a meter that builds up over the course of a quest. They haven't specified whether actually attacking or doing anything does increase the meter for Mars. Certain quests will have battery charges that will activate and give you extra Mars batteries for you to go into it quicker. They mentioned the meter builds up over the course of 9 minutes. So from 0, it takes 9 minutes to go up to maximum. After 25%, you're able to use it to go into your Mars, and you can actually go in and out of it. So you can activate it and summon it down basically and jump into it, and then you can jump out of it as well if you want to save Mars meter or save Mars charge for later. And as you're in it, apparently the meter goes down. So that's most of what we know about Mars at the moment. It is also usable in all types of quests. They haven't mentioned that it's unusable anywhere specifically. And you guys have seen where they've used it all over the place, whether it's, in Alnoth, they show it off in Deck Space. Funny enough, they show it off in Alnoth and Deck Space, the two places we farm the most for money. But you're able to use it against bosses and things like that. Now, they also mentioned that originally the plan was for this to not scale off of the character and have its own separate scaling. They have actually decided to rescind that and go with character scaling, as it would be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not fair to those who actually invest in their characters and build up. It's unrewarding essentially, which I agree. I think there was a way to do this either side. You can make it so they don't scale, and everyone's virtually the same as long as they have skill points in the actual Mars. But they're absolutely right. It does kind of suck for those who actually invest in their characters, and you wouldn't see like growth. They would also have to come back and tune Mars consistently to keep up with the character, because a very, very big problem that happened with a similar system called Dark Blast back in base PSO2 was at first it was good. It was usable. It was a damage increase. But then the player got stronger, and eventually it became a damage decrease to use over your main weapons. So it became nothing more than either a travel or a utility tool in most quests. It was super cool. It was fun, but it was like just a loss to use. Now, with this scaling off of our characters, it will never become a situation where if you get stronger, you're stronger than your Mars, because as you get stronger, your Mars also gets stronger. I'm sure it'll have to be tuned and balanced. Definitely. I don't think there's a situation or a time frame in life ever in this game where something doesn't come out and it's not slightly broken. So it might be too weak. It might be too strong. We'll have to see the quest types that come out. But what I'm actually very excited for is the set pieces this can be used in. For those guys who've been following the story, you know that we are going up to Nameless, in Nameless, looks like it's very okay. Spoiler warning. We've already talked about this on the channel beforehand in videos and things of that sort, but um, it looks very, very obvious to me that we are moving into a different. That's what we're looking for. A different era in the world of Phantasy Star NGS, and with Nameless basically being up in outer space, we're probably going to have some very interesting set pieces that we can use for these new weapons. So I'm very excited to see what they decide to go with this. That's mostly all we know about this. If there's anything that I missed, feel free to toss in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are excited for doing with this new system. I think things are going to be a little bit weird for the first, like, I don't know, few weeks to a month when this comes out, because we're gonna scale insanely and probably crush most of the game for a bit. So if that's an issue for you guys, maybe unlock your Mars and then chill for a bit until the next piece of content, because I'm almost positive it's gonna happen unless Mars is super underpowered. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's gonna happen. Either way, guys, thanks for watching all the way to the end. Like if you enjoyed, sub if you want to keep up with more. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, my friends. Peace out.